Welcome, one and all, to Ideas Test HQ. We are here today with Dan Thompson to speak about our Writer-in-Residence programme at Sittingbourne's Steam Railway. Welcome to Ideas Test HQ, Dan.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
I'm glad you are. We're going to find a little bit more out about Dan, a little bit more about the Writers-in-Residence programme, your ambitions for the year, and perhaps some new ideas to spark creative things for people, and they can find out about how to get engaged with you and what you're doing. So, who are you, Dan?
I'm Dan Thompson. I'm an artist and a writer. I'm a poet. I perform. I've been making art in one form or another since I was a teenager. I came from a council estate in Worthing where there wasn't a lot of art. There wasn't, we didn't go to theatre, we didn't go to see exhibitions a lot. And my English teacher asked me to operate the follow spot for a drama club production at school.
Really? Okay.
And I loved that, being part of the show, being there, being part of the thing without being on stage. And our local theatre at that point had just started a youth technical crew, the first youth tech crew in the country. So at the age of 13, I started working backstage in a professional theatre, being exposed to all sorts of madness every week. And that's what got me into
just working in a theatre.
Yeah, it was. When you come from somewhere where you have no idea what that stuff is, you see an incredible. We were a touring house. There's an incredible show every week, and it was dance. It was radical theatre, or it'd be Roger McGough reading poetry, or there'd be some straight farce. Huge variety of work being brought in, and being part of it, being part of this family that run a place like this, because in a small theatre, everybody's part of it, everybody's involved. Our artistic director, Martin Harris, was known as Plumber Harris, because he was the...
That's definitely the anything else required clause, isn't it?
He was the best person to fix the plumbing if needed. So early on, I learned that kind of, you've just got to do whatever it takes to all be there and get the show on at 7:30. And that sort of spirit is embedded through all of my work. We've just got to get together, do it, and make a thing happen.
And it sounds like that also extends to how you think about genres or art in general, because, as you said, like you found theatre very early on, writer. What else would you describe yourself as? Writer,
artist, designer, poet, printmaker. Yeah, I don't go for the consultant as much. A lot of the work I do is supporting other people in creating activities. So I've done a lot of programming work. I've created festivals in Basildon and Swansea and places.
You've done a lot of facilitation as well, haven't you?
Yeah. A lot of behind the scenes helping to make things happen. A lot of my work has been around high streets and empty shops. I am an expert in the creative reuse of empty shops, and I can say that because I literally wrote the book on it. I wrote the For Dummies book on opening a pop-up shop.
It's available on Amazon.
Or from local booksellers.
Both places. Nice, great. So that's a really good kind of snapshot of kind of all of the different things that you've done. How did you find out about the Writer-in-Residence programme?
This was advertised by Ideas Test earlier this year, and I must have had 3 or 4 people within a day of you putting it up saying, Dan, this is a you thing. To the point where there was even a little bit of a consensus that other people who might have put in pictures weren't going to, because it was such a Dan thing, I had to have it. And it was. It covers... I love history, I love exploring history, I love place. A lot of my work and writing is about place. I love the communities, the groups of people you get together around something like a steam railway. I mean, they're the more interesting bit, those groups of volunteers and people who've lived there and been part of it for so long.
And they have quite a committed collective.
I mean, you have to be. You can't run something like a steam railway without a bunch of really committed, dedicated people. I mean, it takes
covered in oil.
Yeah.
Underneath the train.
It takes 13 people to run the site at its minimum. By the time you've got driver and fireman and somebody on the station, and so you've got to have a big gang of people to make it happen. And so I saw it as an opportunity. Applied very quickly, and I think applied with probably a bit more kind of passion and energy than I might, because it just felt like something I really wanted. So I'm really pleased to be here.
Nice, great. And it was a strong application and a strong interview, and we're very pleased that you're here with us.
Thank you.
So the programme is a year-long programme. You've already started. You're a few months in. How's the start of it been? I know you've been to a couple of events there, and also you've already produced a couple of pieces.
It's lovely. I mean, I already feel like I'm part of the gang over there. You know, when I turn up, I'm welcomed. People know who I am. I went to, they had an off-site event a couple of weekends ago at the museum in Margate, where a couple of their chains are.
Yeah.
And I walked in, and a couple of their volunteers were there and knew who I was and were keen to see me. And you know, so it feels like I'm there and getting embedded, which is the first bit of a journey like this.
A relationship building.
Yeah, and getting comfortable with the place. You know, these people have been there for, some of them have been volunteering there for 40 or 50 years. You know, they've been there since the start, as long as I've been alive. So it's finding a gentle way in to become part of what's going on there.
Nice.
And it's a brilliant place, and it's got so many stories. You've got the steam trains, and they're all quite odd and interesting. It's a narrow gauge railway, little industrial thing.
Yeah.
So they're quite.
It's very sweet.
Yeah, they're quite eccentric to start with. Then you've got it was built for paper mills. So you've got the history of paper making. I've made work in the past about paper making locally. It really interests me. So there's a whole other layer of stories there about its actual purpose originally for paper making. There's the landscape it's in, that incredible kind of Milton Creek, Swale, estuary landscape. And you walk
it's
out...
quite unique, isn't it?
And you don't know it's there, but you sort of walk out the back gate of the main railway yard, and you're suddenly on the salty, smelly side of this old river creek. And there's so much history there, you just know that all of those places around there have got their own stories to tell.
Yeah, nice.
And then you've got all the people that come in to visit every day. You know, every day the rail's open, there's hundreds of people come, families, different people coming to visit, and they've all got a set of stories. So I've been over when they're generally open. I've been to their beer festival when they have lots of live music on, and I've been there for a Wild West weekend. And of course, all of those sets of people bring a different way of looking at the place and a different way of exploring it. So there's so many stories to find.
It was one thing that when we went to visit actually and spoke to Paul, who runs it. When he talked about just how many events they have going on there over the year, I was like, oh wow, they do a lot, and it's all different types of themes, all different types of people, live music, beer, reenactments. Like there's a lot that they do already, which is fabulous. There's a lot to draw from, isn't there?
I think when you're a small visitor attraction in an area like this, you've got to keep doing new things. You've got to keep finding new ways to bring extra people in, to bring people in who wouldn't come otherwise, to keep people coming back. You know, once you've been once and you've done the railway journey up and down and you've looked around the sheds, why would you come back again? What changes? So it's about a constant reinvention of the place, and all of those events are part of that. Yeah, constant reinvention, but also they become traditions in their own right. Yeah. You know, the Wild West weekend is a tradition. It happens.
It's an annual thing, isn't it?
The Santa specials. Yeah. You know, they're a tradition. They're part of Sittingbourne's soul and spirit now. Yeah.
What was I going to say? I remember when we spoke to Paul as well, and he was saying that, you know, there are loads of things going on, but he was like, this proposition of a writer in residence. I mean, why it appealed to us is because of the paper history, but also because it speaks to history broadly, and we know that, you know, people in that area have an interest in heritage. So it really kind of connected up to have a writer in residence. And when we took that idea to Paul, he was like, "That's really novel. It adds to the live sort of events that we've got there, going on already annually." So, like, linking that to sort of live events, what's the shape of the year for you? What do you have planned? What have you got? Coming for us?
What's coming up? I'm taking a whole bunch of other interesting people over to see the Steam Railway in a few weeks' time. And that's about bringing in lots of people that would never go to that place normally. So people from other arts organisations, other writers, other poets, performers, dragging them all in for a day. Part of that is because it inspires me, because I'll have lots of interesting conversations with lots of people who see the railway differently, and we'll see things I haven't seen.
See through their eyes, like the first time.
So that's really important. As part of my process as a writer, getting that extra impetus of a load of new thought is really important. After that is the Sittingbourne Steam Railways Gala weekend, Gala weekends are a big part of the steam preservation
yeah,
thing.
Yeah.
They'll have lots of extra trains running, all the trains running at the same time, lots of activity going on.
Yeah.
And I'll be there for that with some activities, some writing prompts, some ways to get anyone that wants to have a go at writing can come along. I'll give them some things to get them writing, inspired by the steam
railway. Get them exploring the space.
Yeah. And then we'll almost be up to Christmas, and I'll be contributing something, some kind of activity towards their Christmas.
Are you going to be Santa?
Stuff. I'm not. I think they've got Santa. I'm heading that way though.
Did you audition?
It's inevitable. It's either that or from a panto dame. It's going to be one of the two.
It can be either.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll be adding something to that, some kind of activities for people to do when they come to see Santa as well.
Great. And then I think also next year we probably have some workshops in schools planned, trying to get some young people to the railway for the first time.
Yeah, I want to get more people there to see it. I mean, it's an absolute gem, and it's so eccentric and so odd and so interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to get young people from local schools onto the site, because I think I can go and talk to them, but if they sit in those wagons and take the journey down the line, it's over a viaduct. It's over this huge concrete viaduct. You ride above Sittingbourne. As you go out of Sittingbourne, you ride over the top of the town, looking down on factories and houses, and then you come out into countryside and end up at this, in the middle of this vast paper mill. And paper mill sounds like a kind of, it's a Victorian factory. It's not. It's this huge,
humongous,
massive industrial complex where, I can't remember what the statistic is, something like 40% of our cardboard boxes are made there.
Yeah.
So it's an incredible thing to land in at the end of this journey. And that journey is, I've been to lots of railways. I do love steam railways. I love steam trains. I don't know any as eccentric as that. But you start high above the town and you wind through countryside and end up in this completely unexpected place. It's wonderful.
Yeah. It is. I mean, the journey is key, but also once you get there, I mean, you've already spoken a little bit about the landscape. You kind of have, the paper mill on the one side, the water on the other, and your first piece of writing that has already been published really kind of evokes a sense of the feeling of being there, and the landscape and the smells, the feel, the touch. It's really evocative of the space, which is always beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a rich landscape, and it's about the smell and the taste and the feel of the wind coming across the marshes, and being there on a hot day when it all feels sort of baked, and you've got the smoke coming off the engines and that oil, and you go through the sheds, and it's all tactile stuff. Really is.
Nice. How do you think? I mean, we've talked a little bit about what's currently going on, their annual program, and what you're sort of bringing. What do you hope the sort of legacy of your being writer in residence for the year will be?
I think there'll be a bunch of bits of writing that help them, Sittingbourne and Kemsley Light Railway, who are the charity who runs Sittingbourne Steam Railway. Yeah. There'll be a bunch of things that help them to see the site differently and maybe think about the site differently. So it will gently change how they look at the site. And of course that might also help outside people to look at the site differently and feel that they want to come in, get involved more. So those are the sort of subtle ways it might work. But also I'm hoping we can sort out a literary weekend. And there are a whole load of books at the moment being written about railways, about railway journeys, about railway history. It's the Railway 200.
Yeah.
So there's a whole load of, but there's loads of commercial stuff coming out. I mean, I live above a bookshop, so I see a lot of books. There's a lot of books about steam railways.
A writer who lives above a bookshop.
There's a lot of books about steam railways at the moment, and I think the potential to bring all of that onto site and to bring some of the.
That would be amazing.
What I'd like to do is a literary weekend, and then bring in some of the YouTubers and bloggers. There's a whole younger generation of train spotters and train enthusiasts. Bring them into that as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And I remember you also talking about some kind of pamphlet or something that's a kind of collection of the works because you're going to be producing part of your program of work throughout the year is producing a piece of writing every month, which is really nice because it's a sort of we end with a collective of stories about the space.
It's quite hard sticking to only one a month.
Oh really?
There's so much I could write. So there'll be a collection of those works as a pamphlet that will be available in the shop at the railway yard at the end.
Nice.
But there's also I'm writing some pieces that will work across the site. I've just written a piece which is for children, for families, probably for things like the gala weekend, where you start at Sittingbourne Viaduct Station at the start of your journey, where you're asked if you've seen this character who went missing, who came to visit the railway and who went missing, and have you seen it? And different people along the railway, the guard on the train, the station master and so on, have another little bit of the writing that they can give you that tells you their experience in meeting this mysterious person. So as you go around the site, you collect this set of 6 short stories about this person who went missing, who's not been seen since he went to the railway 10 years ago. And it's actually the story of Odysseus. I've taken all the stories in it that people tell you about him and all the stories of Odysseus. So I've transplanted an epic Greek myth
into an epic space,
into
and an epic landscape.
Yeah.
Nice. And I think that's a really fun and engaging way of having people be in the space and connect with it.
Yeah. But it's also got a serious point. You know, this is a landscape that has always been about journeys. There's little docks all along Milton Creek and the Swale leading out to the Thames. You know, this is a place that was massively connected to the world through those boats coming and going. So I wanted to start with the story of something that connects to that heritage and that history. So it's 6 short little stories that you can enjoy by themselves, but it also gets you thinking again about, oh yeah, there's a river, there's boats, this would have connected out to the wider world, not, you know. It can feel very inward looking when you're in these sort of little towns, and that sense of getting out felt really important.
Nice. One thing that I just wanted to ask you a quick question about, which was quite unique to your proposal, was you were talking about sort of visioning, like fast forwarding 30 years or 40 years, and sort of, you know, throughout the year trying to sort of place yourself there, imagining what might be. You've only just started your residency, so you might not be there yet, but I wonder if you had any thoughts of like fast forwarding 30 years.
Yeah, I've used this in other projects because it's a really interesting. When you look at history, the point of history isn't just what happened 30 years ago or 50 years ago, 100 years ago. It's how it impacts on where we are now and how it might impact on where we're going to be. So I wrote a book in Stoke-on-Trent, which is a complete history of Stoke-on-Trent from the Ice Age to 30 years in the future. And all the stories in the book are stories I collected working with Appetite and other Creative People and Places programme, all collected on one road in Stoke. And the point of the 30 years in the future bit is that people can tend to feel quite negative. Oh, we used to have paper mills here, but they can't, you know, most of it's gone, and there was other industry here and that's gone, and the railway is just a shadow of what it used to be. But actually when you move into the future and go, well actually, what could this be used for more? What extra could this do? And it
unlocks the imagination a little bit as well.
And I'd like to see, you know, there's no reason why this little railway that runs across the edge and connects Kemsley, little sort of village of Kemsley that's now just a suburb of Sittingbourne, back to Sittingbourne. Well, come on, there's a practical purpose there. You could actually be using that as a commuter train to shuttle people in and out, you know. And in a future where we can't all have a car because petrol is too expensive, that might be a really useful, interesting future. So it's thinking about those, you know, how might it end up in the future? It could all end up underwater because of sea level rises, you know.
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
But yes, a possibility. Nice, we're going to go in a different direction now. Your most memorable railway journey? The most memorable was disastrous. Oh, really?
We'll do 2. I'll do 2.
We'll go down and then we'll come up.
Yeah. I was working in Leeds, with young people in Leeds. So it was a fairly straightforward trip, in theory, back down to where I was working in Lincolnshire. I was working in Spalding, near Boston, in Lincolnshire.
Nice.
Should have been get on the train, get off, make a connection, arrive at Spalding, go to my hotel. Lovely, simple evening. The first train out of Leeds was cancelled.
I was going to say, is this a cancellation story?
The first train out of Leeds is cancelled. The second train they put us on then runs really slow and runs really late. So we missed the connection. I can't remember what the connection was to get over to Spalding. And they said, it's fine, this happens. You know, we're used to this. We'll put you in a taxi. So they pair me up with two people from Spalding and put us all in a taxi together and send us on our way, which is lucky because it turns out the taxi driver doesn't know the way to Spalding. So the two people from Spalding are navigating us
Excellent.
to the town.
Yeah.
And we get to the town and we get to my hotel. My hotel's up a little pedestrianised bit, so he drops me on the corner and I get out and he says, "You pay me." And I said, "I'm not paying you. You've been employed by the train company to deliver me here." And he chases me up the road with my wheelie suitcase as I run up the road,
Really?
demanding that I pay him. And I fall through the door of the pub that I'm staying in, literally flustered, run up a hill, fall through the door, and the barman looks at me and says, "Ah, you must be Dan Thompson." And I went, "What?" He said, "Second, we've only got one person staying tonight." It must be you." So we go to check me in, and behind the counter is a blue plaque on the wall in reception, and it says, "Jimi Hendrix stayed here, what was it, 1966, I think."
Cool.
And I said, "What was Jimi Hendrix doing here?" And it turns out that Jimi Hendrix was booked to play the Spalding Flower Festival. And the guy that was checking me in took one look at me, had heard this story of me being chased up the road and said, "I'm going to upgrade you, you can have the Jimi Hendrix bedroom tonight." So I ended up, at the end of this awful journey, staying in the bedroom that Jimi Hendrix had stayed in. And there's a photo of him pulling girls up into the room with a tight bedsheet from outside into his bedroom.
Okay.
Being Jimi Hendrix. So that was...
Wowza.
Yeah,
okay, so all's well that ends well.
yeah, so that was quite an epic... It shouldn't have been an epic journey.
It shouldn't have been, but it was.
I ended up in Jimi Hendrix's bedroom. Not many stories end up there, so I'm going with that one.
From a council train
Yeah.
to Jimi Hendrix's bedroom.
Yeah.
Nice.
Other than that, I have a regular favourite journey that I like. I now live in Margate, but I come from Worthing originally.
Yeah.
And you can go from Margate to Worthing via London. You go in, catch a tube, come out the other side of London. You can do that, and that will cost you quite a lot of money. The other route you can do is you go from Margate down to Ashford. Then you go from Ashford all through the beautiful Rye marshes and down that way, and you end up at Eastbourne, and you follow the coast around, you go past Eastbourne and Bexhill and Hastings and all those places along the coast to Brighton and then hop across. And that journey I love, and it takes usually about 45 minutes longer than if you went through London. It's much, much cheaper, and you can break the journey in where you like. So regularly when I'm going down from Margate to Worthing and back, I'll take that long, slow route, beautiful scenery. It's a lovely ride, and you can always stop in, Bexhill, Eastbourne, both got nice art galleries, Hastings, good stuff there. Nice. Break the journey somewhere and enjoy that time of being in a train and read a book and relax and gaze out the window and just don't hurry. And that's what trains let you do. Don't hurry, sit back.
Relax.
Yeah.
In certain countries.
Yeah.
I think one of my most memorable journeys was getting a train in India, getting a sleeper train in India. And the way the booking system works in India is they basically sell it out until it's full, and then once it's full, you become on a waiting list. You get put on a waiting list, and we were on the waiting list, but our family were like, "It's fine, you go, you'll be able to get on the train because you're second." And normally that means that you'll get bumped up. Anyway, we weren't bumped up, but we were standing on the railway with our bags. The trains don't stop for long. They're really kind of high to get up into them. It's quite steep steps. But you have to find the people working on the train, I forget what they're called now, and essentially bribe them before the train leaves.
Yeah.
So you have 3 minutes to 1, convince the guy that you can get on, 2, get your luggage on, and 3, find somewhere to sleep for the journey. It was the most stressful journey. Once you're on it, it was gorgeous, beautiful vistas, lovely journey. We really wanted to do it because it's like a cultural. It was like something that we wanted to experience, but could have been more relaxing.
Not quite as relaxing.
Exactly. Nice. So last little linking railways and literature. Best book or best poem about trains? Other than the one that you were going to write.
Obviously. I absolutely love The Night Mail by W.H. Auden.
Nice.
And it's not just the poem, it's there's a film, there's a public information film version of it. And it's a short documentary about the Night Mail service and how it works. And it built up this incredible poem, this rhythmic poem at the end. So I should have put it with me so I could read it.
Yeah.
You'll have to find it for
You
yourself.
have to find it.
Go and look it up.
Go and look it up. Excellent. And that's a lovely segue. So yes, go look that up. And then also, if you want to find out more about Dan, you can find Dan's website at
danthompson.co.uk.
Excellent. And you can find us at ideastest.co.uk. And also we'll have more information about Dan's events that he's got coming up. You can find that there. And also we publish each of Dan's writings every month on our website and on our social media. So check us out there. Thank you so much for coming, Dan.
Thanks for
That was
having me.
amazing.
Thank you.
All right.